reach.
Now these are pictures that Ruby Dyer has from.
Well, they
Yeah.
would be her
Nicole.
family pictures, the
These were
Richardsons.
my grandfather's grandchildren, way back.
Grandfather, what's his name?
Richardson.
What
Richardson.
What given name? Frank, not Frank.
Ira.
Ira Richardson.
Mm-hmm. And he had about 10 or 12 more after that.
How many are there?
Well, I
A whole
wrote
lot, huh?
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
How many wives did he have?
How many what?
Those are the grandchildren. No.
Oh, grandchildren.
Yeah,
other
grandchildren.
children.
See,
Okay.
grandchildren.
Now, can you tell us who they are? Some of them.
This is my cousin.
What's the name? You have to tell.
Hazard Gregory. That's his little sister. His mother is holding her up because she's afraid. Anna Gregory. Hazel, my sister, Richardson. This is Emma Richardson, cousin. This is my brother Lee Richardson. This is Gertie Bartenfelder. And that's me,
Grieve.
Grieve. And there's Prudence's mother, Minnie, my sister. And there's Carly Richardson. She's just a little tot, and she's a sister of May's.
And that's
That's my brother. That's my cousin, Lloyd Gregory. That's my brother, and that's my cousin, George Pearsall. That's his sister, Maud Pearsall. That's Gladys Nolan, another cousin. That's Jane Gregory, a cousin. Frankie, wait a minute. Yeah, Frankie Gregory, a cousin. Helen Galloway, a cousin. There's Ruby. Flossie, my sister. Here's my sister and a cousin, Carl Richardson. But they had a lot more after that.
what year would that be about? Do you think? Look how old you might be, and you could tell about what year that would be. Probably has it on the back. Oh,
1903 and 4.
1903, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Put it back up for you.
Well, we can just sit on
All right.
the floor. It doesn't matter. Then over here we have. Here, I'll turn this light on. There's my grandfather and grandmother, my father's mother and father, and I don't know just when that was taken.
What is
But
their
she-
given name? What's their given name?
Cornelia,
And his name?
Julius.
Julius.
Yeah.
Right.
She was 16 years old when she married him.
Where did they come from?
They came from down around St. John's.
And was that picture taken when they lived here or in St. John's, do you
I
think?
don't know,
You don't
but
know?
I have a hunch it was taken down there.
Down there in St. John's. Now, they came up here. Did they bring children when they came up here, moved up here? They moved up
No,
here.
when they came up, my father was 15 and he was the youngest. And the older ones were married and living down around Bath and St. John's.
That's why so many now lived, so many of your family lived down
Oh yes,
that way
descendants
now.
are all down through there.
Yes, that's
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, my father was 15 when
Well,
he-
then your father and Frank Richardson were brothers?
No,
No.
Frank Richardson was my mother's brother.
Okay. Okay, on the other
You
side
see
of the
what
family.
mixes people up? My mother and father were half cousins. They had the same name. So it
Mhm.
mixes people up,
Uh-huh.
confuses them.
So
Mhm.
part of these, I know, are the Frank Richardson children.
What, those?
No, these. Part of these were Frank Richardson's children.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had, the grandparents there had 6. And these are children of the 6 grandparents.
I see. Uh-huh.
Were a lot of them homesteaders?
How
Did-
many homesteaded up here? How many homesteaded?
I don't know of anyone excepting after the lumbering days, my father homesteaded some land way up toward, oh, way up towards St. Helen on the river.
But your farms you lived on were not homesteads?
No,
Uh-huh. But
No.
who all moved up here at one time? Your father and mother and Frank Richardson?
oh, no.
No.
You're getting it mixed up.
Uh-huh.
The ones that moved up here first was this grandfather's family.
He and his family,
He and his family, and his father and mother.
which is your great
Yeah.
your
they-
great grandfather then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they moved
What was
up.
their name? What was the great grandfather's name?
Ira.
And this one was named,
Ira.
both of them named Ira.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, they moved up here, and they moved into Roscommon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they moved into Roscommon, and my grandfather and his father worked on the railroad. They were building a railroad from Roscommon up to Grayling.
That's right. So many white people
Yes,
came up
they- yeah.
with the railroad.
Yes, so they moved up there.
Mhm.
Well, then my grandfather began looking timber for the big timber companies,
Oh, yes.
and he spent a lot of time doing that.
Mhm.
That's how he supported his family. Well, then they moved from Roscommon. They moved up there to Roscommon when my mother was 5, and she was the oldest one. She was 5 years old.
We'll figure out later how old she would be at this point.
Well, she was 5 years old when they moved up there. Then they moved up to Grayling. When she was 12 years old, they moved back over here to this
On your farm.
this farm area.
Which is what? Only 2 or 3 miles over here.
3 miles.
3 miles. Uh-huh.
That's where they moved.
And that's where you were born, probably. No.
I was born over there, but not right there.
Oh, because
When you go in the spring, if you go to that little valley and you go up to the East Hill, see there's hills all around it.
mhm.
You go to the East Hill, and in the spring you can stand there, and if you have any imagination whatever, you can see that at one time, a million years ago maybe, that whole
Was a
thing
lake.
was a great big lake
Lake.
because
That's
it has good soil in the bottom,
Bottomlands.
and then it goes up sand to the hills. But you can see the outline of the
Sometime-
lake in the spring.
In the spring, let's make an effort to do that. I would like to see
Okay,
it.
I've seen it lots of times, but
Uh-huh.
anyway.
I would like to see it. Uh-huh.
Yes,
Mhm.
but anyway, what would be of interest to Mrs. Gilbert?
Well, I remember you saying that you walked down the river, what is this, South Branch? What is
Huh?
this branch? This
South
is
Branch.
South Branch. To Roscommon and bought a rocking chair, you and your sisters.
Oh, that was a long time. That you're getting
Yeah,
way,
oh, yes.
way ahead.
Well, still, that was a long time back, too.
I'm talking way back before I was born.
Yeah, all right.
Do you want to talk, so you're sitting down now, or you?
Yes, I think you should sit down.
There really isn't any history of Roscommon County.
No, my daughter told already, and was talking with you the history, but it's
Well,
very
that's what
interesting,
she's-
yeah.
Now here's Roscommon, that old depot in, oh, it was a long time ago. I guess there's no date on it.
I
But that's the way
gotta
it
see it,
looked,
too.
and those trains came in.
Mm-hmm.
Can you
I've
see?
got, yeah, somehow if I don't get in the light. That's quite a strip, isn't it? That was LaRock's lumberyard.
Yes,
The lumberyard.
yes.
Whose store was that?
All right, sit here.
No,
Oh,
no,
no, you
I'm
can
fine.
take this-
No, I'm fine. Go ahead. I don't know who these two little buildings, I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think what those were.
Oh, it'll come after a while. This is, where the Dr. Oppie's place is now.
right in the corner.
Yeah, or the clinic, doctor's
Mhm.
clinic.
But I've always kept that old picture
I like
because
that, yeah.
I do
Mhm.
too.
We can maybe we can get a copy of it
I
sometime.
can't because I've got it glued in.
Oh,
Now, I don't know of any pictures here you'd be interested in other than that one.
what were those first ones though? Wait a minute, right back here. Who were these people?
Oh, that's Flossie and her,
Oh, that's
some of
your
her school
sister.
kids.
Uh-huh.
There she is again,
Mhm.
some of the kids. And
What was the school like up here when you went?
pardon?
What was the school like here when you went?
What school?
Well,
did you-
it was, they were country schools, little country schoolhouse, and they taught up to through the 8th grade. One room, one teacher.
How many in your room, in your school?
Well, depends how many kids there were in the neighborhood.
Well, how many can you remember?
Well, when I went to school,
How many in your grade?
well, I wouldn't say grade, I can't remember that, 4 or 5 in a grade.
Mhm.
When you have 8 grades.
True, but I
Uh,
remember who all was in my grade. It's in grade school.
Well, I can remember some of them. But we didn't have a lot of kids in the school.
No.
Here we were in this little neighborhood. And here was the schoolhouse on the corner. My grandfather gave him an acre of land to put the schoolhouse on, I guess. So they built the schoolhouse.
Was it log or wood?
What? Well, you know the schoolhouse.
Yeah. Well, oh, it was that one. Uh-huh,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And so then they had school there. My grandfather's daughters, some of them, taught school there. Their children taught school there.
And you taught.
I never taught there.
Oh,
No,
you
Flossie did, but I didn't.
Oh, your sister taught there.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. But you did teach somewhere in there.
Chini, Perchini.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a question. That was one place, all the children together. How you teach the first class, the second,
Well, they did.
in one
Yes, and,
She taught
sometimes,
all of them.
and sometimes you had beginners,
place? Yeah.
which to me was hard. I'd rather have someone that could read and write.
Then it is hard for the
And you had to teach
children.
them, you had to teach